Oh yeah. Guys and girls, today we're playing with a T5. It has been mostly caddy content the past few videos. We've got a little job to do on the T5, drive shaft, CV boots, not my favourite job, but let's get into it. So no, today we're not playing with the boys' electric bike. 50-volt electric bike, does 25 miles an hour. We've got, I mentioned in a few T5 videos, don't know if I'm in shot, let me move back. On the T5, it's nearly 290,000 miles. I've replaced everything, like Trigger's Broom. Same van, 20 years, but it's not the same van. And there's a little bit of noise when you're rolling or driving down the road. On a flat surface, it's lovely and quiet. On a noisier road, there's a funny noise. It might just be road noise, tyre noise, but I have noticed something, a bit of a miss with the drive shaft. I've got an inner CV joint. We need to get the drive shaft out. There's someone coming to kill the shot right off. Let's swoop round and have a look. And I have got to show you something. Tucked behind the T5, washed it yesterday, it is looking sweet. I do like it when it's looking nice, clean and shiny. I like it anyway, but it looks even better clean and shiny. We have got my friend Darren's caddy here, and what a caddy it is. When I go to the meets, it's one of my favourite ones of all times. He's rolling on the 20-inch Bentley. It's a tailgate model, edition 30, 3.2 V6, V6 engine. It sounds fruity, nice van, and I've got it tucked away. As you'll tell, the ground is a bit stony. You get cars turning around, pinging stones up. So to block his van from any damage, because obviously we don't want to damage someone's van, we've got the big girl covering it up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to work outside today. Can't lift it up on my ramp, so I need to get it jacked up in the air, wheel off, and let me show you what I'm talking about with this drive shaft. Well, that was painful. Literally, from the last shot to now, it's been an hour and a half. Straight after I said I hide my mate's van there because of all the traffic, the road, the noise, the lorries. Bin lorry come up, massive bin lorry, 2 vans behind him, 2 cars behind him. It was absolute chaos behind here. Then, as they all cleared out, one of the big vans parks right here. It's a tyre changing van. Then the skip lorry comes round and he's out here for an hour and a half changing a skip lorry, playing loud music, banging and whacking a tyre off. And all I wanted to do was show you a little shot of this white caddy, special one, because we've got to do some work on it. There is some upcoming videos very soon. I've got some little jobs to do on it, and I just wanted to show you a little shot of this van. But that was an hour and a half ago. Absolutely killing my life off. Oh, it's very, very nice in here. Oh, it is nice in here. DSG 3.2 V6. Oh yeah. So I have got to do some little bits of paintwork, not on the exterior, a bit of tidying up under the bonnet, a few little odds and sods. This is a show van, but there's a couple of bits he's not happy with, and if he's going to go to a show, he wants to be 100% happy with it. I'm actually privileged, grateful to work on it, to be honest, because it's such a nice van. It's nice to be trusted with someone else's pride and joy. Yeah, very nice. Got the T5 tucked a little bit better. We got it jacked up in the air. We have got the axle stand hiding and a collection of tools. Now, what I want to show you, if I can position the camera nicely, let's try there. The drive shaft is actually turning a little bit without turning the inner cup. So there is movement on my inner CV joint. It might just need grease, but I have got a new one just in case. Right, that should be the last reposition for a while. And how do you know when your CV joint, when your drive shaft's faulty? Well, if you're pulling out of a junction, let's say you're at a stop junction, you're turning left or right, as you pull out of the junction with the wheels turned one way or the other and accelerate, you're going to hear a click, 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 click. Bit of a poor demonstration, but you get the idea. If you're pulling out of a junction or going tight round a corner and you can hear a click, 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 but then goes away, that phone is doing my absolute Sweden. Then that would tell me, or that is an indication that your outer CV joint has gone. I don't get any of that clicking, but I'm just trying to keep on top of jobs. These drive shafts are nearly 300,000 miles old. And when as we mentioned, or I mentioned in the last shot, there is movement on the inner CV joint. It might just be dry, and if it is dry, it's now worn out because there shouldn't be that much movement. And I do have a noise when we're going down the road. It might be a case of the inner CV joint is slightly binding up. And when I turn it round, we do get to a point, and it almost feels like there's a little bindy up area. So we're going to get the CV joint out. We're going to get the whole drive shaft out, strip the CV joint down, and it's the same for the inner and the outer. I don't have a new outer, I only have a new inner, but I am going to strip the drive shaft bare, and that way you can understand how to do an inner or an outer CV joint. Cool, I've done them up tight. Better to have them tight than loose. I've seen these come undone once on someone else, and the cup spun round and blew the gearbox up. Not nice. Oh. And obviously my bit doesn't stay in, so it's heavily annoying. The scrap guys are playing over there, but I lost an hour and a half of my life today, so we're not waiting any longer. And don't let these bolts get dirty or full of grit or grime. Oh, I'm gonna have to put it on my wheels. Let me get these out. I'll get all 6 out. We'll get the drive shaft out. We are working outside. I know if you guys watching are not going to have a workshop or a garage either, so we're working outside together. I have got a bit of wood to lay on. I'm going to be beating the drive shaft. I don't really want to split this outer boot if I need it, and I can't actually remember how they come apart. I know we've got to hammer that off, but I am going to start by disassembling the inner. I'm going to knock this little cap off because there's a C-clip. Well, there's plenty of grease in there. And be ready. When I said at the start of the video, this is one of my least favourite jobs, this is why. Now there's that movement, if I get it close to the microphone, but unfortunately, that is moving on the spline. So after all this, the movement isn't in the CV joint. It might have actually worn a groove. So the C-clip is there. Get yourself a lot of cloths, because you're going to make a mess. C-clip pliers, these are an opener version. You get closer ones or openers. Don't lose these clips. Saying that, the new one has come with. Straight ones would have been better. Oh, oh. That landed on me and got grease all up my t-shirt. Told you they're a dirty job. Now that will just slide off. I wonder if it's the shaft that's worn or whether it's out of the joint. I didn't want to buy a cheap aftermarket drive shaft. They're cheap for a reason. If money was no object, I would buy a genuine new shaft. But money is an object, and I don't have many of them objects. So I'd rather rebuild the shaft with half decent CV joints than a whole cheap one. Okay. So it's either the splines have worn out in there. I have seen posts online about the stub, the drive shaft stub axle thing wearing on the driver's side, but I've got no movement on the driver's side. The only movement we had was on this side. If I slip him back on, well, the movement's gone turning him round, so that we might be in luck. As long as it's worn out the splines in this CV joint rather than the splines on the drive shaft should still be good. That is how easy an inner CV joint comes off. I popped the cap off, pulled the clip off, CV joint comes right off. I'm not gonna throw that CV joint away yet, just in case we've got the wrong one. You never know. As mentioned, I am going to take both off, and you can see why it's not my favourite job. You could wear gloves. Oh, it's all up me. Look, it's all up me. All up my t-shirt. Oh. Let's crack on. Now, I do only have an inner joint, not an outer one. This one's tight. There's probably nothing wrong with this joint, but we are going to strip it down and clean it. I do have another CV boot in there. I'm not sure if it's the same. So before I damage this, because what I would normally do, oh wait, I am going to do it. I'm going to use a grinder and carefully cut through this lumpy piece. Without marking the drive shaft or the boot. Both the clips off, happy days. That's going to be warm. Ease off, E will be sharp, so don't grab your fingers on them because they're very sharp. Wow, that grease has turned to oil. Oh mate, it's going to get messier. And it's that bad. This grease has been smashed to pieces for nearly 300,000 miles that it turns to oil and it literally pours out. Oh, that is not a nice time. I'm going to clean this off with a mixture of brake cleaner and other stuff, and we're going to clean the joint right out. I'm not going to film it, it's just cleaning. You can clean it any way you like, but I'm going to use brake cleaner over the cloth so it absorbs it, doesn't make a mess all on the concrete out here, and we'll see how it looks. We got the drive shaft in a vise. I have got a cloth around it. I don't want big chisel vice marks on my shaft. Everything's in the way, so let me move that out of the way. I've got a copper mallet. I'm holding the outer CV joint. There's a clip in there, but it's not a clip you can access. You actually have to just tap it off and then tap it back on. You can change the clip, but you have to get it off. Sometimes in here you have to get a chisel and hammer right at the base, and that will pull it off. I don't think this has ever been apart, so let's find out if I can do it one-handed. I'm holding it straight, I'm pulling it lightly, and I'm going to hit it with a copper mallet. Don't miss and whack yourself in the chest, because that wouldn't be good. Well, as easy as that. There's a C-clip in there. Well, it's not a C-clip, it's like a C-clip, but with no jaws to get at it. Two little picks will get at that. Well, that was nice and easy. I need to finish cleaning this out and we'll go back outside. Better lighting. Well, that got me dirty. Don't be an idiot like me. Wear gloves. That was awful. Absolutely terrible. We've all cleaned it, and you can see it has fallen to 1,000,000 pieces. But we're ready to go back together. Everything I'm reusing is clean and shiny. Well, there's loads of bits in here. So there's bolts. Oh, fresh bolts. Happy days. Napa. That is the inner CV joint. I'm going to get the outside back together because it's in a million pieces. Now, I did thoroughly clean it. You can see she's squeaky clean. All this and the bearings has come apart. This only goes together one way. It's a bit like a Sudoku puzzle. It will take you a minute, but it does work. I think the bigger end goes in first. Like so. And it only fits one way. Now, because of the groove on the drive shaft, you have to remember the clip, yes, there's a groove inside this inner bit for the clip. That goes inwards, like so. So the groove for the C-clip is further down in there, not out. You saw how easy that went back together, and then it's just a case of pulling one side up, he says, dropping a bearing in. Literally, you couldn't write it. When the camera's on, it doesn't happen. Now, if you are going to take one of your outer CV joints apart like this, there is 50-50 chance you could get it wrong. Now, easy, on this side of that race is a flat surface. If I spin it up the other way, there isn't a flat surface. And we can see the wear marks are at the bottom. So that goes at the bottom, and the flat surfaces is towards the shaft, and the C-clip groove is further down inside. Now, I did end up sliding it in like that, and then it spun round, and now we can do a full rotation like that. Not sure how I've done it, I just kept fiddling and it happened. Now, I'm going to drop a bearing in. I'm going to drop a bearing in. Like so. That feels good. I'm happy with that. I was happy as I can be. Now it's time for grease. Unfortunately, the new CV boot I've got that I had kicking about doesn't fit. Oh, that means the clip's not going to fit. Oh, what a pain. So I do need to work out a clip, but hey ho, let's crack on. I've already changed the clip on the end of the shaft here, and now what way round does it go? That way, because it's got a clip on it. I'm going to get the boot on, which is the old boot, and I can't believe how good a condition it is. If some of you are thinking of using a stretchy boot, don't use them, because the stretchy boots, you fit them, they'll pass your MOT, 6 months later they're cracking open. I absolutely hate stretchy boots. I don't use them. Ease in place. I could put the spring on now, the clip. I'm not going to. We have got a special tool for the clip, but we're not going to talk about that just yet. And it just so happens that the Napa inner joint, they've sent me 2 lots of grease. Happy days. I'm not even going to put the whole lot in. I'm probably going to put half, 3/4 of it in, because it's too much. I am going to get dirty again and just mush it all in around the bearings. It's going to get mushed in anyway when you start driving. I'm just going to mush it in. I'm going to make sure where the shaft goes on the inside is straight upwards, because we now need to put... Oh, I'm dirty. Again, wear gloves, remember guys. Let's get that ready. I found a tooth, I can feel it's in the groove. Is it in the groove? So I normally do these on the vehicle, but because we had to play with the inner, I took it off. You can put the grease in after, there we go, up on its top, and of course I have left the copper mallet indoors. One moment, pushing down on the shaft, I'm going to hammer it and I'm going to feel the click. Well, you heard the tone change. I didn't feel the click, but I can't pull it off. The joint feels good. There's plenty of grease in there. This is the dirtiest, horriblest job I think this is up there with smelly gear oil and stuff like that. Oh, you need about 10 cloths to wipe everything down and keep yourself clean, or at least a roll of tissue. Now, I've only got one clip here. I need to go and find another one, but that's fine. Boot on, and I don't like doing that. I don't like having grease underneath where the CV boot's going to sit. It gives it opportunity for the boot to slip off. Like so. Boot back on. Now my special tool. If you go on eBay and type in CV boot tool kit or CV boot tool, it's going to come up with something like this. Absolutely brilliant. It crimps it as good as any professional could crimp it. And as I'm doing it up, it's pulling the clip in. But this is so good that if you kept going, you would snap the clip. It's that strong. One clip on the inside. I need to go and find a bigger clip in the workshop, and because I'm a bit picky, I'm going to have the squash part of the clips lining up together on the whole shaft. I'm not going to have one here and one there and one here and one there. All my clips are going to line up. It is the exact same process for the inner. I'm not taking him apart because he's already clean. He's quite tight in there, but I'm sure it's good. Let's just see if there's any play. There is no play in that. Oh, I'm happy. So the shaft was good. It was a case of the inner joint had worn out and the boot was just hanging on. So I'm going to roll a time lapse. Time lapse, we're going to put the clip on, do the inner, put the boot. I'm going to put the boot on first. Don't forget that. Put the boot on first. And then did we get a new end cap? Oh, we didn't get a new end cap. That means I'm going to have to clean and reuse that. Great, more cleaning. Anyway, enough chit chat, roll the time lapse. Finally got all the drive shaft back together, and believe it or not, the inside of this one doesn't have a clip. A little bit strange, but it's tightly sealed on there. I did manage to find a bigger clip. It was only a lesser quality clip. It's on there nice and tight, but if you over tighten them with that, you can break the teeth and then you've knackered the clip. But we've got one, happy days. Drive shaft is clean enough. When I had all the van apart last time, I did satin black it. So it's all clean, all tidy, it looks fresh, both boots are good. I have got 20 minutes left until I need to go out. Need to go get some food for the barbecue, and I want to go before the school run, otherwise it gets an absolute nightmare with parking. Don't want that. I am not going to use the bolts, the new bolts. I am going to stick with the original bolts and I'll keep them on the shelf. Why? Well, I reckon the genuine bolts will be a better quality, i.e. the original ones. Did we line the cups up? Yes, we lined them up nicely. Now it can be a bit of a wiggle to get these back in. It can be a bit of a wiggle. And especially now, because the inner CV joint is brand new, it's really stiff. So you need to hold the drive shaft square, perpendicular to the cup, and get the bolts in. Am I going to get it first time? Probably not, because the camera's on. and I'm doing it by hand. If you went straight in there with a gun and it wasn't in right, you're going to cross thread it, you're going to knacker the cup, you're not going to have a nice time. But I am pleased to say that went in straight first time. We got lucky. Now, I did plan for this video to be short and sweet, 10 minutes. But it hasn't turned out that way. And the reason being, if you've watched a 10 minute video on someone doing a CV joint, I don't know if there's enough time in that time to explain any tips or tricks on to getting the job done nicely. If I waffle on too much, is what it is. But, or no, I do apologise, but it is what it is. I do waffle on sometimes because I want to give you guys the feeling that you can do it at home. Because jobs like this, you can do at home, you can do it. As long as you've got the right tools and you're not in a rush. Let's say it's midday, you've got to take the missus shopping at 3 PM. Don't tackle one of these jobs because you'll be rushing, your missus is breathing down your neck, you've got the wrong drive shaft or the wrong CV joint, or nothing's going back together right. Take your time. With any job, I always take my time and don't rush. When you get better at being a mechanic, not saying you're crap, but the better you get at a job, the quicker and more efficient you'll be. So if you're not a car mechanic, you're a bit of a DIYer and a bit unsure, just always take your time. Those are all in snugged up. And I'm not just going to hammer them up with a gun because I want to know how tight they are. Remember earlier in the video I said some come loose on someone else's car. The cup come undone, smashed a hole in the box. Well, I'm not just going to gun them up because I want to know how tight they are. So I am going to get a screwdriver in the disc and do them all up by hand so I know exactly they're all tight. So all the bolts are in finger tight. I'm going to go around and snug everything up. Going to get the wheel on, take it for a test drive, do a barbecue for the kids, check that the pool's warm enough because I've got my pool heater. Oh, and the other channel I mentioned in the last video, Outdoor DTE. I am going to start posting videos on there of everything non-VW based that I get up to. Because there's a lot of stuff that I do that you guys don't get to see. And you might be interested. So random stuff, there's going to be posted on that channel. Outdoor DTE. There's a lot of my fishing videos on there. But I am going to put everything and everything on that channel. And that feels nicer. We've got no bindy. We've got no free play. Happy days. I'm going to go for dinner, test it out. We'll get an outro in a little while. That has gone down sweet. Barbecue done for the missus and the kids. They are happy. We are all fed. I have been out in the T5. I can confirm it drives good. There was a little noise. If you were reversing slowly and touched the brake, there was like a little fadonk, a little popping noise. Something was moving, and I believe it was that drive shaft. Again, I have heard stories on the driver's side on T5s. There's a little stub axle. What are you doing down this end?
We're just riding up and down.
Oh, yeah. No. It's nice though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
You
Yeah.
should put your number plate like that.
My number plate, yeah, it would look good like that.
That's the one you read last time.
That's it.
I got a Mongoose Pro Villain now.
Nice.
Are you ready? Yeah. Right, okay. We can't go down the track.
Local kids interrupting the video. We'll let them off, they're only kids. I have completely forgot what I was saying. Yeah, stub axle on the driver's side. They go a lot, but there's no play in mine at all. I will keep an eye on it. And after seeing the grease from the drive shaft we done today, it's meant to be grease, but it was smashed to pieces into just oil. I'll probably do the other side, but I won't film that because it's the same. So if you've got a drive shaft that's gone on the other side, it's exactly the same process as what we've done today. I'm going to quickly tidy up, and I'm going to quickly give you a walk around of this van and show you what's upcoming on the next few videos, because this is a van. Obviously, it's a caddy van. T5 is happy, workshop is tidy. Let's have a little walk around this van and I'll tell you what we've got to do as I see it. We're not doing anything to the bodywork. He is getting a full wrap. He has got the 20-inch Bentleys looking very nice. What can I see that we've got to do? I know the headlight looks flickery on the camera, or I believe it does, but they're not in real life. Same front bumper as mine. So his grill's missing, or his badge. He's got another one coming down. He was playing with his headlights himself, and one of the brackets is broke. And since he's done that, the bonnet cable has come undone, so the bonnet won't open. Need to get in the bonnet with a crowbar. I won't really, but I need to get in the bonnet. His front bumper is hanging off bad, so I need to address that. It's pretty under the engine bay. I would show you right now, but we can't open the bonnet. R32 V6 petrol engine swap. Sounds beautiful. Just been for a little hoon round the block, but not too fast. It's not my car. It's tidy under the engine bay, but along the top of the slam panel, the top headlight bits are a bit rusty. There's a little bit of corrosion here and there. Not massive, just little fluffy bits. He wants me to paint them, make them look pretty, sort out the front bumper corner. There's a couple of bits inside, a couple of bits under the bonnet. Need to service it, need to service the gearbox. And yeah, I think I've showed it in a clip earlier already in this video, but it is very nice in there. He's a reptile geezer, hence the rep. And Neighbours Constrictors 13, I believe, yeah, I can see. And that is NC13 rep. What a brilliant number plate. He sells snakes and stuff. Oh yeah, I've got to fit some caddy bases. I might carpet those trims for him. He's got another 20-inch Bentley with a centre cap as a spare, of course. It's got the posh roof lining. Not sure off the top of my head what other bits we've got to do, but I will explain in another video. Have you heard that? How it sounds?
Yeah. We're racing him up John Carriageway.
Sam, we're recording. We don't do racing. This is DT.
Travelling.
Travelling, that's right. We weren't racing, that's right.
Sounds sweet.
How's it going?
Right, yeah.
Last bit. Oh. So you get better sound from the microphone without this little cat fluffy. Cat's arse, what are they called? You get better sound with it off. I always forget, and I go outside in the wind and I forget it's off. So that last shot that was windy, I do apologise. No one likes wind noise in a video. If I go out here now, this thing will completely take it away. It's windy. Can you hear the wind? No, they're brilliant. I'm not going to take it off again. Anyway, so those videos are coming up on Darren's caddy. Looking forward to that. I might start right now, and his bonnet don't open, so I'm going to park my caddy next to it with my bonnet open, and I can see what crowbar, what skill saw, what chop saw we need to open his bonnet with. Just kidding, Darren. We'll open it nicely. Andy's caddy, zero budget restoration. That's coming back soon. So the paint for Andy's van is 250 quid. And now I don't work for that guy down there no more, so I can't like muscle in all the time, you know, like I'm using the booth. I can. You've seen me in a couple of videos, bit of bants between me and the other Nathan down there. But that's with my own stuff. I can't start muscling in mate's van in his workshop. We're not taking the piss, you know. You ask for a favour, but you can't take the piss. So I'm going to have to talk to him and do him a deal. I'm going to have to pay him some money to use his spray booth. I need to rustle up 250 quid to get the paint for Andy's van. He did get given, Andy this is, 3 sets of wheels and loads of other little bits for his caddy. So I'm going to try and sell them to rustle up the money Then we get the paint and we'll paint it. Izzy's coming back very soon anyway. This video is dragging on a little bit. I am going to rip his bonnet open and we'll see you in the next one. I'm out.